The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 29th day of May, 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. One day, well, Friday Eve, as some people call it, actually. One more day after this till Cher's favorite part of the week. Yeah, it is. It's been a short week for some of us. And a hangover week for some of us. You know, after a holiday weekend, people want another holiday. So I hope everyone is feeling good. Hopefully you've had a great week so far, and let's end it on a high. But let us know how you're feeling today. We're going to be very fast, but greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome the director of the Bermuda Weather Service, Michelle Pitcher, onto the show. We're going to be discussing the upcoming hurricane season, the 2025 hurricane season. So get your questions and comments ready. A lot to discuss. Obviously, technology has evolved, and I'm going to call you all what we are. The Bermudian arrogance when it comes to hurricanes. Hopefully, she'll tell us something that will humble us today. But always interested with these conversations as the climate changes and the chances of being struck by a severe hurricane kind of increases. So looking forward to the conversation with Michelle Pitcher from the Bermuda Weather Service. The Daily Plate is a Name That Place today, a Name That Place. All right. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. We've got to jump right into it, the conversation this morning. But before we do that, Suzanne Ingham says a super awesome Thursday, Jamel, and a super awesome Thursday to you as well, Suzanne. Yesterday, we were talking during the discussion, we were discussing the Bermuda Police Service's social media activity. And it seemed that for the most part, the majority of this audience was in favor of it. Now it seems to be a generational thing where some younger Bermudians feel like it's cringe or think it's failing or the like. So one of the things we love to do on this show is have discussions that, okay, so we see the problem. Now let's discuss the solution. So the question, since everyone thinks not everyone, since a certain sector believe that what the Bermuda Police Service is doing is cringe or disgusting or nauseating or whatever, let's do what they used to do in school. What advice would you offer the Bermuda Police Service to help prevent and solve crimes? Put it on yourself now. What would you offer them? Because apparently we don't like the stop and searches, right? We don't like those. We don't like their attempt to communicate with people where they are. Right? We don't like that. We don't like to be inconvenienced. Right? We believe that the police should be everywhere. Right? But I think there's this one key component that's missing in the entire conversation around the police. And that's the role that we all play, the community. So as a community, if we don't like to be inconvenienced, if we find the social media cringe and nauseating, right? We don't like the stop and searches. We feel like the police aren't everywhere or places they should be. What advice would you offer the Bermuda Police Service to help prevent and solve crimes? Like, think about it. We've got the answers if we got the complaints, right? Or we should, right? Have some sort of, opinion to offer something better. So, what are your thoughts? And here's a yes or no question. This is a very simple yes or no question. Do you have confidence in the community supporting the police efforts? Do you have confidence? Do you believe that the community supports police efforts? Yes or no? Simple yes or no question. Do you have confidence in the community supporting the police efforts? I will say this much. I do believe at this time, based on the events over the last week, my confidence has grown in the community when it comes to supporting the police efforts. We spoke about it yesterday with the community pointing out that 2 people were found riding around in dark clothing and the police were able to apprehend them. That's how it works, right? So based on that, I'm going to say, yeah, I do have confidence in the community at this point. But what do you think? Yes or no? Do you have confidence in the community supporting the police efforts? But also, what advice would you offer the Bermuda Police Service to help prevent and solve crimes? What advice would you offer them? What would you say? What would you say? You know what? The social media is not working. Maybe you should try this. The stop and searches are not working. Maybe we should try that. What would you advise? Come on, we've got the answers. We're the community, right? What would you say? What is something that comes to mind that you believe will automatically, overnight, improve the safety of Bermudians that the Bermuda Police Service can do? What do you think that they can do to further help prevent crime? How can they better communicate with the community? Like how can the Bermuda Police Service communicate more effectively with the greater community? I mean, if you're not happy with the social media, then how would you advise they do it? I'm interested in knowing. I don't have the answers. I thought this was, quite clever on the Bermuda Police Service behalf. But it's apparent that not everyone agrees. But the yes or no audience, yes or no, do you have confidence in the community supporting the efforts of the Bermuda Police Service? Do you have confidence? Yes or no? Do you have confidence in the community, yourself, your neighbors, your friends, your family, your colleagues? Do you have confidence in the community supporting the police efforts? Yes or no? Just a simple yes or no. What do you think? Do you think that the police have built trust or enough trust to have the confidence of the greater public? Or what more can they do? No, in fairness, I took some of the concerns yesterday, and I think the concerns were people are saying that it's cringe, right? It's cringe and it's nauseating. They're speaking about the accent part, like the vernacular or dialect or whatever, however you want to say it. So it's the C, I don't even have it up anymore, but C bite, like stuff like that, which I think people find annoying. So if they remove that stuff, would it be better? I don't know. I don't know. I usually quote this Dr. Ewart Brown, the former premier of Bermuda, when he came on the show and he said, Jamal, one thing I learned in politics is even if you win, everyone still doesn't vote for you. Like, to win in politics in Bermuda, all you need is more votes than the other person. That could be 51%, right? So I get that everyone's not going to be on board. But for those who aren't on board, what would you advise? What would you say would make the Bermuda Police Service better and help prevent and solve crimes? Is there anything that you think is worthy of implementing? And also, do you have confidence in the community supporting the police efforts? Do you believe that your fellow neighbors and friends and colleagues and family, do you believe they'll support police efforts? And that means a number of things, by the way. It means, just like the community helped the police on Friday night, speaking up, reaching out, letting them know, hey, there's some guys riding around on a bike. See something, say something. What are your thoughts? This is your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Question of the morning: what advice would you offer the Bermuda Police Service to help prevent and solve crimes? Manuela John says, the confidence in police is not as strong as the fear of vengeance in some cases. You know what? And maybe we should ask the Bermuda Police. Maybe we should ask the Bermuda Police. What is there a case where someone has been retaliated against for coming forward? Because if you think about the Friday incident, no one knows who told the police. It was a bunch of people in the community that some went on their social media, Twitter, X pages and said, there's these guys riding around, right? So in saying that, I mean, they kind of protect it. Baby Rocco Don Lavrock said, would people be paying attention if the vernacular wasn't there? How should they bridge the gap without trying different approaches? Doing the same thing and expecting different outcomes is what? I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, right? Because as Sanchez said in our Daily Hour chat group last night, it has our attention. It's got people talking. It's got people interested. And as Gary Moreno said yesterday, it's not for entertainment. It may be entertaining for some, but folks, it's working. And I'm puzzled. And as I said yesterday, I completely understand those who are not for it. You know, maybe they lost a family member or friend or someone they close to them in an unsolved murder. I get that. And I'm not dismissing that. But this approach is engaging the public. It's engaging them. And because of the public's efforts, the police actually have results. They have results of being able to prevent a crime because of that. But again, audience, this is on us. This is on us. What would you say? If the social media is so cringe, if it's so nauseating, what advice would you offer the Bermuda Police Service to help prevent and solve crimes? What advice would you offer? What would you tell them? Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, how about building relationships with young people by volunteering as a coach, scout leader, church leader, etc.? Many might already be doing this, but I don't know. I know in the past, many police officers used to do that, coached. My scout leader was Don Villiard, who was a police officer at the time. There are many police officers who coach. I mean, we had Darren Shaky Glassford on last week. I mean, he's a coach in riding and so on. So there are so many that do that. I don't know if the new crop do. You have Dwayne Sluggo Lavrock, who was into cricket, so he had various relationships in the sporting community. So I think local police officers have always had a tendency to be engaged, which is why, remember, before the social media, the police started saying in their press conferences and press releases, look, if if you know a police officer and you feel comfortable, talk to them if you know something, right? Because Bermudian police officers are traditionally very connected within the community. I mean, remember calling RoboCop Painter. You all may have thought he was strict and by the book, but you all knew him, right? Well known. So I think most of the local police officers are known. And that's something that should be of benefit to us all. It should give us confidence. Because the truth is, yes, you have Tucker's Town and maybe Fairlands. I don't believe any of our police officers are living in those places. I could be wrong. But I'm saying that because the Bermuda police officers, the local officers, they are us. They are in our community. It's not like they work in like New York City and then go over home to like what's that place called, the Hamptons, right? It's not like they work in a certain city or county and then drive home to their own county. This is Bermuda. So again, audience, what advice? Thank you to Baby Rocco, Dawn Levrock, and Charles H. Duffs II. Anyone else? What advice would you offer the Bermuda Police Service to help prevent and solve crimes? Someone did say yesterday, someone said yesterday, the school bus that used to go to the schools, right? I remember that. I remember that back in the day, the police school bus that used to come. And I know we've asked about that on this show before. I'm not quite sure what the answer was because it was so long ago. But I know we've asked about that kind of police engagement before. Suzanne Ingham says, on a whole, I support the police. My gripe with BPS and government was the CCTV on Loyal Hill. They are down now, but the pull and that hot box need to come down too. As long as it's up, are they planning to put them back up? I think that's more government, not Bermuda Police Service. Yes, as was said yesterday, that's government. She says, I thank Bermuda police officers often. I appreciate what they do. I really like the BPS media, social media. I send them encouragement sometimes or just say thank you. It's something is going around. If something is going around, I send it to them like scam stuff so they are aware. So, okay. Thank you, Suzanne, for that. What else, audience? Is there any other advice? So it's quite clear that many have problems with the Bermuda Police Service, but they don't have solutions for them. That's an interesting space to be in as a community. And I know some people will say, well, it's not my job to solve the problem. I don't get paid for it. Folks, if you live in the community, you shouldn't need to get paid directly to keep it safe, to play a role and do your part. Charles H. Jeffers II says, as stated earlier, maybe it's a generational thing that finds it cringe. If it's the younger generation, that could be of more assistance. Should the police pull back on the cringe-worthy language? I mean, it's a consideration. But would they even be paying attention if the language wasn't there? I mean, I don't know what's cringe to them. I don't know what's nauseating. Is it the vernacular? Is it just the post? Teo made some valid points yesterday, right? At the end of the day, I think what we're looking for as a community is results. We want results. We want, and when I say results, I'm not talking just about arrest and convictions. We're talking about preventative measures, right? Friday was prevented because of the community. The police gave major props to the community's role in that. Yeah. So, look, there's a way there's a role this community plays in helping to prevent and solve crimes. And there's a way where the police and the community can engage in a manner that helps the greater community in terms of safety and respect for fellow people. I don't have the answers. And according to this morning's discussion, many of us don't. But together, we can brainstorm and ensure that we have a safer community for all of us to live, work, and enjoy. Your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Let's give them some love. Then we'll bring Maya Palacio in for your daily hour news break. And after that, we've got the director of the Bermuda Weather Service, Michelle Pitcher. We're going to be talking hurricane season. So get your, and folks, hurricane season is not just about stocking up the alcohol cabinet, all right?
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
All righty, welcome back. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for your daily hour news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
Yeah, feeling pretty good this morning. Sun shining, so yay.
Oh, yeah, it's been rainy some last few days. So I guess sunshine will dry all of that wet that you all have had. Somebody's got to be dry. I don't think it's Atlanta this week, so you may have sent all that stuff here. Yeah, got some clouds out there and so on. But hey, sunshine. Somebody's got to do. We need some sunshine in the Bermuda community right now as well, because folks are not happy. Again, maybe it's generational, but folks just don't seem happy with the Bermuda Police Service and their social media again. But hopefully they have solutions.
I think for the majority, everyone seems pretty good with it.
That's because you no longer go on Twitter. You don't have the capacity to go on Twitter anymore.
No, you're right. I follow more solutions-based social media, and yeah, sometimes Twitter just becomes too much talk. But from what I posted on mine, even there was some people who disputed against it, didn't like the fact that it just felt. Again, there was the word cringe that was used. Some people said they felt that it was like stupid. Others felt it was, kind of missing the mark or making lighthearted of something. But for the most part, and I actually put up a poll saying, well, have you actually engaged more? Have you shared it or commented or whatever more because of how they're talking? And it's like almost 80% who said, yes, they have engaged more. So, I mean, it's working in the form of if their goal is to engage the Bermuda public, that's working.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm just interested, one of the things, and it's not necessary in all cases, but I'll give you an example. The chattel slavery. People would say, well, what's the solution? Well, the solution's freedom, right? I think with this is if we have issues with things, it's helpful when we're offering solutions. Okay, well, this is wrong. Okay, so what's the solution to it? I just think we're so comfortable in how we feel that we don't care what the opposite of it is. And it can be dangerous at times. I don't want to tell people how to feel. I think people should be able to feel how they feel, but I think it's important for us to consider our words and actions when it comes to things like this, because again, I stated it yesterday a number of times, I'll state it today, that the community engaged the police on Friday and those two people were apprehended. That helped prevent a crime. I think, I'm not saying all credit goes to the police social media for that, but I mean,
yeah, I gave him credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm draining. What you got today, MP?
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the good people at People's Pharmacy. So, despite shiny new equipment arriving to help repave Bermuda's roads, the island's long-promised asphalt plant is still not operational and won't be for at least, let's say, another year, to be quite honest with you. But the government announced the arrival of a new fleet of paving machinery last week, calling it a significant investment in overhauling Bermuda's crumbling road infrastructure. But while officials are, praising that this is a phase one of progress, the bigger issue is the new asphalt plant remains delayed. So originally expected to be up and running by April of this year, 2025. The Ministry of Public Works now says it's aiming for 2026, listing in this video that was actually released about 2 weeks ago from the government. So let's listen into exactly what they said here.
Our asphalt plant is outdated. To prevent breakdowns, we must limit operations to 4 days a week and cap production at 100 tons per day. These constraints affect the pace at which we can deliver new paving. Site works at the plant location are progressing, and we expect to begin equipment installation in October. The asphalt plant itself, complete with silos, burners, and tanks, is currently undergoing final inspection and will begin arriving in July. It is important to note that once the new asphalt plant arrives, it will take several months to construct, and therefore we anticipate the plant will be operational in the first quarter of 2026.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
As we know it, right? So the plant design I expect to be finalized by that date, as you just heard. But also in the last story that I even brought to you guys about the Separate Experts Limited and how they have also been taking on some government works. Well, we heard that the repaving of the Philadelphia Hill is meant to be taking place this month, but there's been no visible progress there yet either. But we can see that some paving has been completed in Southampton, Warwick, and East End, but the pace just keeps remaining as slow as it is. So a lot of drivers are still going to not really see that progress come into place until we're able to pick up the pace.
I'll say this much. That Philadelphia Hill, riding on that hill quite a few times in the last month, it made you feel like Bermuda, it was a back road. It felt like a back road. Like it is in the worst state ever. So I'm not saying what areas should get preference over another, but yeah, if that's that's a sad reflection of the state of Bermuda right now.
Yeah, when I had my friend down and she was, I was turning on my bike and we are going to St. David's, so sometimes we take the back end and it's just like, I was like, just hang on. And I'm like going like under 30, but you can't it's just a lot. Yeah, so roads, definitely something that we're hoping to see a progress in. We got this new machinery. Hopefully people will get trained on it properly. Hopefully the machinery stays intact so that by the time everything's built and everything, the machinery is still ready to go into use for the purpose that it is. All right, meanwhile, is a $6 cell phone tax break enough? So the government has cut cell phone taxes by $6 a month, a move meant to offer some relief on the cost of living. But the opposition says it doesn't go far enough and it doesn't go to the people who need it. So here's a little bit of experts into the story, just a little more explanation. So Shadow Minister Douglas Ducuto says that while any savings helps, giving the same monthly break to minimum wage earners and CEOs doesn't address the growing issue of equity. So he says we support the relief, but we need smarter, more targeted support. For example, targeted tax breaks to seniors and those at the lower end of the earnings. So the OBA is calling on the government to partner with cell phone companies to create reduced cost basic plans for those in need, pointing out that even the most basic packages can cost up to $120 a month in Bermuda. So Dr. Ducuto asks whether large corporations should benefit from the same breaks as working class Bermudians and whether the relief could be better focused on seniors or lower income households. So it seems that Dr. Ducuto is trying and hoping for financial breaks to look at more equity than equality for a fairer Bermuda, because as most of us read the other day, a pretty hefty salaries of some who work in Bermuda, it's definitely not needed. A $6 break is not needed for everyone on the island.
He's absolutely correct. It should be equitable, and this is the whole equality versus equity argument for years, but I mean, how could anyone in the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party disagree with what he said? It makes sense. But anyway, I digress.
It does. Now, lastly, I don't know if you've all been following TNN's story when it comes to the Westgate Correctional Facility, but just a little bit of a peek here as we follow the serious development. But according to TNN News, 5 correctional officers were injured during a violent disturbance inside the prison's maximum security unit. The incident reportedly erupted during routine inspections when officers encountered resistance linked to contraband cell phones. And that's just the beginning. Apparently, in the second report updated from TNN, it revealed that ongoing intimidation of officers has gone on, widespread infrastructure issues around molding as well, and growing breakdowns of order inside the facility. You can read the developing story on TNN Bermuda.
Well, I mean, again, like the police, these are people in our community, amongst our community, and I think often forgotten is the risk they take in their job every day. So hopefully they're getting what they need to maintain a level of safety for them.
And like we keep hearing, and apparently it's also happened to the newer recruits, which is something that's obviously we're getting an influx in because of the whole we need more civil servants in a lot of these positions. So whether it be the police, the firemen, yes, the corrections officers. So now it's becoming, and that's a dangerous profession to have, a very serious one to have. So obviously this is a story to follow. Especially for the newer recruits. Now, I do want to close out with one more story because you guys may recall Simone's story on the SureLink app. While doing our rounds and talking to different bus drivers, we also got to hear some aspects of changes, specifically from one bus driver in particular when it comes to the changes in behavior during her about 20 years as a bus driver. And wondering for the community, everyone, the listening audience in here too, like if you travel on the public transportation, and you've done it for a number of years, curious to know what changes you've seen, whether it be in the people or the tourists that have come to the island. So here's the clip.
Yes, I drive bus. Yes, I've been driving bus now for 15 years.
What's the big difference that you've found driving bus, especially when it comes to either tourists or locals or students?
Difference? The young children. Young children are getting out of hand. They don't want to stand up for the adults. But I guess that's generation. That's how that goes. But otherwise than that, the tourists are lovely. We love them when they come here, and they load up our buses.
Now that's unfortunate. But I think about 20 years ago, children were stopping, like just not standing up for the elderly anymore and treating. I mean, I can only imagine how much worse it is now.
And this is it, right? I recall even my high school years, like noticing, like being in the back and then not seeing the young ones in the front, like stand up. And so I'm offering my seat in the back. So yeah. It's
interesting. Unfortunate, but interesting. It's a different Bermuda today, folks.
Indeed. All right. So closing out this morning with your weather, but hopefully our guest could actually probably tell us a lot more about that. But it's going to be some hazy sunshine pushing through occasional, some cloudy skies as well. But right now it's looking pretty bright outside. The sun's shining through. So get out there if you can and enjoy it. But just expect a little bit of clouds. So maybe pack an umbrella as well. But we got a high of 77 degrees. All
right. Thank you for that, Maya. It's actually National Biscuit Day, right? I want to ask the audience, do you have a favorite biscuit? Maya, do you have a favorite biscuit?
I don't think so, if I'm being honest. Not really my thing.
You don't like shortbreads, like those Scottish things? That's my favorite biscuit. The shortbreads? You don't like? You know what a shortbread is? And you don't like shortbreads?
No. But I don't even like cake. Like it's just not my. I don't know, not my shtick. I do like anything that's like pumpkin based though, or carrot.
All right, we're aligned. Audience, anybody got a favorite biscuit? Yeah, shortbreads are my thing. I mean, I don't eat them often, obviously, and haven't seen them in a while. But shortbreads growing up. So let me confess. Hopefully, Nana's not watching today. But Nana used to get that stuff. She must have wondered where those cookies went, because your boy, she didn't have no cookies for her tea. But time I got my hands on those shortbreads. But shortbreads, I used to be a thief. I was a shortbread thief. I used to. But I changed.
I guess let me stop.
What was that? Tanya Cheeseman says digestives. Yeah, digestives.
Oh, those are always in my house. My mama loves digestives.
Karen Simmons. Rosalind Famous says, I'm with you, Jamal. Shortbreads from McVex. Yep. See? I don't know what I'm talking about. But
you probably ate too many shortbreads, though. I wasn't going to say it, but then I felt like I had to.
Wow. Okay, Maya. You know what, MP? That was a low blow. That probably wasn't a good thing to say because you know what, Maya? I expected more from you.
I did too, but I couldn't help it. I was like, Shy would want me to say it, you know? It was right there.
You have a wonderful day, MP.
You too.
Later. Maya Palacio, folks. What are you laughing at, Tanya Cheeseman? Yeah, exactly. Like, how's she gonna do me with a short joke like that? Right? Baby Rocco says, I make a mean shortbread cookie. I can make them often because I don't share. I can't make them often because I don't share. All right, so we're going to be putting a cup match order in for some shortbread cookies for my cup match camp from Baby Rocco. Karen Simmons, Jamel, you opened yourself up for that. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I didn't. Suzanne Ingham says, I finished my shortbread yesterday. I just love any biscuits, anytime, anywhere. Yes, digestives too. And Renee Simmons says, Maya's like me. I don't care like cake either or shortbread. The worst. I do like carrot cake and cheesecake, but keep the pound cake. More from me. You all don't have to. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere because we got to have an important conversation. Hurricane season begins. What's today's date? 29th? It's 31 days? 3 or 4 days. I don't know. 3 or 4 days. You want to be ready. June 1st. I'll just say the date. Stick with us. Do not go anywhere. We've got Michelle Pitcher from the Bermuda Weather Service coming up. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Attention home renovators and design lovers, your dream space starts here. The brand new Kohler retail showroom at BAC Group is now open, bringing you up to 35% savings on all Kohler products at U.S. manufacturer suggested retail prices. That means no extra fees, no freight, no wharfage, no duty, no document processing fees, just pure cutting-edge Kohler design at unbeatable value. From sleek kitchen and bathroom faucets, vanities, toilets, to statement sinks, walking tubs, and spa-worthy bathtubs, BAC brings innovation and luxury within reach. Visit the BAC showroom on Mill Creek Road today for style, quality, no surprises. Just color from BAC.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Before we bring our guest on, real quickly, folks, it costs you nothing, right? just do us this big favor. Help us beat the algorithm. This is another important community conversation. It costs you nothing, seriously. Just do this favor. Whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, or Instagram, please give us a like, love, follow, retweet it, repost it, share it with your family, friends, colleagues, in your WhatsApp groups. Just make sure as many people as you know have access to these community conversations as possible. All right, without further ado, let's bring on our very special guest for the day. We've got Michelle Pitcher from the Bermuda Weather Service. We're talking hurricane season, folks. Hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning?
You know what? I'm feeling short. Yeah. Maya just made me feel very low. I love the shortbread cookies, but I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I will support your shortbread cookies and raise you a pumpkin chocolate chip.
See, there we go. Like Maya, I have a pumpkin obsession, so anything pumpkin flavored, I'm in. So you get pumpkin chocolate chip, that means we're here already.
Pumpkin chocolate chip, all right.
We are here.
Connected.
Thank you so much for always making time for us for these conversations. We definitely appreciate you for doing that. But let's jump right into it. So usually March, April, we tend to see the articles coming out about what this year's hurricane season is going to be looking like, right? Everything seems to be consistent every year, but 2025, it's looking like it's going to be active or above average once again, with about 13 to 19 named storms. Now, I think it was like 2 years ago we ran out of names or something, so it's not as busy. But
yes.
They're basically saying up to about 5 major hurricanes. Can you explain, in the most layman terms possible, what factors are contributing to this heightened hurricane activity, and how might they specifically affect Bermuda?
Absolutely. So as far as specifically affecting Bermuda, you know what, whether there's one major hurricane or 20, it only takes one to affect us, and then we're, upended the apple cart here. So that's regardless of how busy or not busy the season's going to be, we always prepare the same here at the Weather Service. Mm-hmm. And this year is anticipated to be a bit above normal, so we got to keep our eyes all around the Atlantic and see what goes on throughout the season. A few things that the National Hurricane Center did cite, it's we're not going to have El Nino this year. We're transitioning out of La Nina, and it's going to be pretty much a neutral year, which sounds all very technical, but basically El Nino is a warm plume of water off the northwest coast of South America. Mm-hmm. And it's such a large event in such a big area of water that it actually affects global wind patterns. Mm. So when there's an El Nino, then that actually in the Atlantic, even though the El Nino is in the Pacific, it creates a lot stronger winds in the Atlantic. You got a lot of winds. We can't form our solid, beautiful column that makes our gorgeous hurricanes on the satellite that we all wish we could admire from afar. So we don't have that extra shear that's going to be tearing apart these storms. The ocean's warm. It's again this year, it's warmer than average, warmer than it should be this time of year. Hurricanes love warm ocean water. They drink it up, and it helps. You need the heat to make all of the thunderstorm activity that allows them to spin up. So, and we also have to think about what's called the West African monsoon. So we know tropical waves come off the west coast of Africa. Well, they have around closer to the equator, their monsoon season, lots of rain, lots of activity. That's actually moves a bit north. And when it's further north, it can actually make more tropical waves coming off that west coast. More tropical waves means more opportunities for tropical storms and hurricanes to form.
Got it. Okay. Because I saw something every year. Every year I see it, but I saw something the other day about the Sahara dust or Sahara. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Okay, so when they say Sahara dust, that's literally sand and dust from the Saharan desert. It crosses the Atlantic and comes all the way over and visits everybody. Down in like Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, they have air quality alerts because that dust can really be thick coming across the Atlantic. And then sometimes here, especially in the summertime, we'll get our little purpley tinge sunsets, and that's because that dust is wrapping up here. A lot of dust dries out the air, no moisture for hurricanes. Because remember, hurricanes they need hot water, they're rain, they're full of thunderstorms. Okay. So this can limit that. So we do need to watch whenever there's a big pulse of dust coming off of Africa and sweeping across the Atlantic. That'll dry out anything and help limit all of that formation.
Okay, so it's a positive. Okay, cool. Given Bermuda's unique, and audience, if you have any questions about the upcoming hurricane season, please feel free to send your questions through. But given Bermuda's unique position in the Atlantic, right, how does the island's location influence the likelihood of and severity of hurricane, like the impacts compared to other regions like the Caribbean?
Yeah, so as far as hurricane severity, the category, we've seen up to category 4 now in our latitude in the ocean. But our actual particular location means that we usually get hit later in August, September, and October. So that's what's referred to as the late season storms. I remember the summertime, we talk about the Bermuda Azores High a lot. So it's a big high pressure across the ocean stretching from Bermuda to the Azores. And that high pressure means that we have drier conditions, sunshine, calm weather. And that's so strong that any tropical storms or hurricanes will go around that Bermuda Azores High. They're kept down south, going toward the Caribbean, going toward the southeastern coast of the United States. Natural patterns, this high naturally weakens August into September, and it's a little bit more focused over the Azores. Think of it as like maybe a dome, a shield. And then as it comes away from Bermuda, it allows the hurricanes, they can now start, we call it recurving, but they can now start going around that western edge of the high and come north, and here we are right in their path.
Interesting. We're learning today. Michelle White just said, haven't heard about Sahara distribution crossing the Atlantic. Interesting. Well, I heard about, that's why I asked, but I didn't, as a layman, I'm like, no way to dust. Like, people are just making stuff. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you. Trust me.
It's called Saharan air layer. If anybody Googles that, your mind can be blown. Absolutely.
I love this show. Last year, I mentioned it earlier. We had Hurricane Ernesto in 2024. When we reflect on recent hurricane seasons, such as the challenges posed by Hurricane Ernesto in 2024, what lessons has the Bermuda Weather Service learned, and what things have you incorporated into your forecasting and your public communication strategies?
Well, your earlier discussion about the Bermuda Police Service social media really is a great segue into this, because combating misinformation, everybody wants to be the first to talk about the next big storm. Everybody wants to be like, I'm the expert. And there's lots of information out there, good information, but the information can be easily misinterpreted. So we always have challenge, and we don't have a dedicated social media person. It's whenever we have some time to try to create some sort of engaging post. I'll confess, don't tell anybody, but I asked ChatGPT how to do Facebook posts. But yeah, it's everybody wants to know, and everybody wants to spread the word. So trying to make sure that our message is out there is one of our challenges. But the government of Bermuda and the EMO, they've been really good with their social media as well, repeating all of our messages. And then Ernesto, 3 hours that eye was over us. Yeah. I mean, seriously. And we thought it might be like an hour, but he just decided to slow right down once he got here. And of course, everybody's like, oh, well, it's been over an hour. It's not windy. I'm going to go out and start being a little looky-loo, see what the damage is. I'm going to start cleaning my yard. And it's natural. But then it's just like, no, we have the other half of the hurricane coming. So I know that must have been a challenge for the emergency services to be like, people, you need to shelter because this is unusual, and you're just not going to expect the rest of the hurricane to come up.
Folks, in short, when they tell you it's not over, it's not. I mean, we learned this in school. We should all know when the eye's over, the worst. Like it was quite fascinating watching people on social media, like oh, I'm outside, it's calm down. No, that's not how it works. But moving on, with advancements in meteorological technology, how has the Bermuda Weather Service improved its hurricane tracking and warning systems to provide timely and accurate information to residents?
Yeah, well, overall, the National Hurricane Center is improving their information. So we have 7-day outlooks instead of 5 now. And their cone of uncertainty that shows a track of the hurricane has been reduced about 5% this year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if that 5% puts it either nearer, closer, or further away from Bermuda, then that's pretty important. And then locally, again, I wouldn't say a lot of technological advances, but we just continue to try to improve our communication. We've done a little bit of a rephrase of our information on our tropical update bulletins to try to make it clear to people what our timing is, because we always state the closest point of the closest that the hurricane's going to be within 72 hours. 72 hours or 3 days is a key emergency management timing. And then we always get comments, well, you said it was going to be at 1 p.m. on this day, and now this next bulletin says it's 2 p.m. What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, these are big systems that are doing their own thing, and we're just everybody's happy to know within a few hours. And the distance can change, 10, 15 nautical miles. The timing can change by a couple hours each advisory. So we just got to be prepared and know when things are coming, and just not try to time all of your preparations down to that last final minute.
Indeed. And speaking about preparations, I mean, what would you say are the most critical preparedness steps you'd recommend for Bermudians and residents of Bermuda as we enter this hurricane season, especially considering the potential for early season storms?
Plan, prepare, practice. We got to review your hurricane plans. You got to do your preparations now. Don't wait till the last minute to go buy extra gas or non-perishable food items, whatever you might need. And then practice. That's probably the hardest one, but practice your hurricane plan. See how long it's going to take you to take your furniture in, to strap things down. Think about how long it might take you to renew some prescriptions, maybe. Check your insurance, update all that information. So plan, prepare, and practice. Because if we do this all now, then when we have to do it in earnest, like we did last year with Ernesto, then everything's going to go smooth. You don't want to find out, 24 hours before the hurricane arrives that things aren't working like you wanted to. So you got to get all the challenges and kinks worked out now.
Yeah. Those folks, generators, make sure they're working. Trust me, you don't want to get there. Oh, it's not working. Audience, again, if you have any questions or comments, please send them through. You mentioned the National Hurricane Center earlier, but how does the Bermuda Weather Service collaborate with international agencies like the NOAA to enhance forecasting accuracy and emergency response, but also communicating with the local services? The EMO has been incredible over the last few years.
Yeah, excellent question. So we're part of the World Meteorological Organization, and that's split up into regions. We're with Region 4, which includes the Caribbean, the United States, Canada, basically everybody that gets Atlantic hurricanes. The National Hurricane Center is the regional experts. So they have the hurricane specialists, they have all of the models, all of the data, they run the hurricane hunter airplanes. They are feeding all of that information to the rest of our country's weather services to tell us, okay, this is what we think are going to happen. When that hurricane is going to impact Bermuda, I'm talking with them 4 times a day at least to be like, what are you seeing? Okay. And then adding in our local knowledge. Well, this is what we usually see when this happens. And then between the two of us, we get all of our watches and warnings, get expected impacts together. Then what we do at the Weather Service is we email initially our stakeholders. So the EMO is part of that. And then starting, it could be as early as 4 or 5 days out, because again, we're getting a lot better at forecasting when impacts are going to be. There's going to be EMO meetings, and I'm always part of that, doing briefings and saying, this is what we know, this is what the changes are, this is what the confidence is. So whether this is a hurricane that's easy to predict and it's behaving itself, or if there's some other things going on that's making it, maybe it's going to be 20 to 30 miles here or there, and we have lower confidence. So maybe we need to be a little bit more cautious in our preparations.
Gotcha. And looking ahead, I mean, what initiatives or improvements to further strengthen Bermuda's resilience against hurricanes and severe weather events? Like, is there anything that, Bermudians, the community, and I'm putting it on the community all the time because I think it's easy to put it on the Bermuda Police Service, Bermuda Weather Service, but things that we can do going forward to better protect ourselves?
Yeah, first of all, we need to remember what you did last year or the last time that something happened and what worked and didn't work. You need to remember to check on your neighbors. We have a large expat communities, people that are coming in for the first time. They don't know what to do with all these storms. So really, we just need to talk to each other, figure out who has the best tried and true preparation plans, and we all need to follow that. And please, Bermuda is so resilient. After any major hurricane, I swear the international news agencies are so disappointed in my interviews because they're like, what's the damage? What's going on? And I was like, well, within 24 hours, most of the island had the power back. We had some trees down, maybe some roof tiles flew off, but we are so resilient. We are so good at preparing and sheltering during all of these events that the international community is almost, nobody floated away. Nobody did this and that. And it's like, no, we can't fly away. We don't evacuate the island. So we've learned to be very resilient in everything.
When I lived in Florida, Floridians just didn't realize, right? Because they evacuate, right? The highways before, they don't understand what it means to hunker down like Bermudians. It's no evacuation here. No, folks have to hunker down and make sure their family and neighbors are safe. But I think we're unique in how we do respond to hurricanes. I am grateful that I was born and raised in Bermuda and that we have been placed in a space where we're lucky for the results after a hurricane. So thank you so much for making time for us. If people want to gather more information about some of the things we discussed this morning, do you guys have social media they can follow, email, reach out, website?
Yes, so we do have a Facebook page, and I have to apologize. We haven't been very active on it, but it's just hard to find time some days. But we do all of the tropical storm posts. Otherwise, through our website, we have a little contact form that you can just submit any questions and comments, and we're happy to answer what we can when we can.
All righty. We're going to be in touch because obviously we don't want just have this conversation. That's it, especially if the season's busy. So we'll definitely have someone on from your office throughout the summer as, the weather changes and the like. But thank you so much, Michelle, for always making time for us, and we'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Well, Michelle Pitcher, folks, if you appreciated the conversation, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take our final break. We'll be back after this with a daily play. I want to see how many of you are tuned in. Stick with us.
Forget the usual. Ditch the ordinary. Go off-grid, where adventure meets barefoot luxury. Welcome to Off-Grid RV Bermuda, the island's first recreational vehicle retreat where nature meets luxury in a fully solar-powered Airstream RV. Enjoy eco-conscious linens, cozy robes, a stove, and full bath in a mobile home. You'll find peace in every detail of your stay. Now accepting bookings for overnight stays and half-day escapes. We deliver and set up your Airstream at one of our 10 hand-picked island gems, or right to your private residence. Whether it's a honeymoon, golf getaway, birthday, or solo recharge, you'll get quality service every time. Book now at offgridrvbermuda.com and discover the sleep, serenity, and scenery you've been craving.
Hey, you all right, boy? I don't know, man. I finished running 20 minutes ago, and I feel like I'm still panting.
Look like you need to recover. Try this here. New drink. Oh, you're like you want to go to the hospital in 2 seconds. This will make you fast like Flora.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, we again.
I'm recovered, boy.
Being from this little island, like yourself, we knew you needed access to reliable shipping. We set up mailboxes so you can skip all the long waits or held up in customs excuses.
With mailboxes, that won't happen. Get your packages in under 48 hours using our dashboard.
Plus, if you're a planner or headerer, our weekly consolidation service might be for you. We hold your packages in Delaware and ship them together to save you big time on shipping fees.
And with our warehouse being in Delaware, that means 0% sales tax. Pretty cool, right guys?
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back. Thanks again to Michelle Pitcher at the Bermuda Weather Service for stopping by this morning, talking about the upcoming hurricane season, which begins in a few days, June 1st to November 30th, folks. All right, get ready. Stay well, stay prepared. Folks, again, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a like, love, follow, share it with your friends, your family, colleagues, repost it, retweet it. We appreciate your help in helping us beat the algorithm so that every and anyone has access to these important community conversations. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Bermuda Trivia is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, are you ready? Here we go. I think this is an easy question. Oh, here it is. All right. Which planet is sometimes called the red planet due to its red appearance? All right. No, Auntie Karen Simmons. It's not Saturn, but yes, Rosalind Famous and Charles H. F. II and Z. Marzi and Michelle Doors and Pam Bate. It is Mars. It is Mars. It is Mars. No, it's not Saturn, Suzanne Ingham. It's Mars. Oh, okay. We got it. We got it. It's Mars, folks. It's Mars. All right, folks. Let's wrap it up. Look, regarding the discussion this morning, I think whatever concerns, complaints that we have about anything, it's not on us to have solutions, but it's helpful for us to have solutions. And I would encourage everyone that if you find issue with something, try to present a solution. It helps. It helps all of us. And I think that whether we agree or disagree with the current state and actions of the Bermuda Police Service, one thing I think we'd all agree on is they had to do something. As it relates to the conversation with Michelle Pitcher, look, hurricane season is upon us. When I was a child, I remember only two direct hits, and that was Emily in 87 and 2003 Fabian. Over the last 10 years, we've had a lot more action than I experienced my entire childhood. The world has changed before our eyes. I want to encourage people that although Bermuda has been blessed or lucky in terms of the strength of our homes and buildings, the resilience of its people, it's important to remain humble and respectful of nature, because it's no telling what nature can do when it's in a space like a Cat 4, which we've been hit by. So just be more, respectful of nature is what I'd say. I've got to give you a daily inspiration and let you go, don't I? All right, here's your daily inspiration, folks. This is going to come from Alice Walker. Alice Walker was a poet, writer, and educator. Here's a quote for you. What the mind doesn't understand, it worships and fears. What the mind doesn't understand, it worships and fears. Karen Simmons says, Jamel, anything to do with red after Bermuda Day is off limits except Baylor's Bay Cricket Club. I completely agree with you. Folks, it's time to say peace, but don't forget to subscribe on our website and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.